Hello and welcome everybody back to the League of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Kebablord here, and we are continuing with our big Anno 1800 Let's Play, with which we have made great progress in the past episodes in regards of the Land of Lions DLC. And yeah, I noticed something new. We have now here research points. So yeah, seems we need scholars. We don't have them yet, but one day we will have them due to that story. But first, we are still continuing with our world quest, and since we now united 2 of the 3 islands with the empire of Emperor Ketema, it is now time to lay our eyes on Waha Desher. So, time to move our airship there. And yeah, get to know their culture. So, apparently this is a dying society. I'm pretty sure the quest will be about doing something about that. Waha Desher's most ancient tree, now centuries old, revered by locals for its venerable age. Reminds me a little bit of the histories in Elder Scrolls. Oh yeah. So, asked to enter through the door of Exar. Buffalo Exar is where the village used to stand. Much of it is derelict and forlorn today, but with what few children remain of Waha Desher are fond of playing in the shaded sands and dirt. Here are the ruins. Ask Abel the overseer about the walls. Long ago, we built those walls and set powerful gates within them to protect Exar from the many dangerous beasts that the elders call Rikiai. But even they ultimately fled the island when death and dust made it their home. Inquire about the house at the top of Exar. The House of Bloodlines. For millennia, the House of Hatia of Waha Desher ruled from there. The last of that line still live there, led by the venerable matriarch Yara. That will probably be her. The authority is long faded, and all now turn to our chieftain for leadership in most matters. But old Yara is a respected figure in our community, as her memory is so extensive, even more than Abu's. Abu means elephant. It is a pity our language, Demiha, is lost among the younger generations, for many of the elders, especially Yara, speak precious little Enbesa. We come now to the summit of our island. This cliff is often rugged and beaten with harsh winds, but there is contemplation and learning to be had in gazing out to sea from the precipice.
The whole of Waha Desher stretches from here, land and law. Ask your question, Shema, and I will answer.
So, is the view from the summit so good? Yep, it is. And there we can see Emperor Ketema's palace. Okay, select a place to ask Abel about it. So much questions.
The Waha water is impure. Long ago, there was beauty here, but now it is dust solid and scorpion touched. The Pa Itaru has stood mysterious for millennia. Our river temple, old as Enbesa.
Southern Shrine of the Oracle. It seems to be where the elders used to perform rituals. The Southern Cross.
When the sun first rose, the gods blessed the island soil. On that land grew Isiads, eldest and tallest, the memory tree. Strangers built this camp long ago, brought tall ships from the north and many wars, but we remember as Yara provisions. Floods no longer grace the Waha. Salt beds pile as the water dries up. As soon will we, like our fathers. It is time for guard duty by the Mecha, where Lord Ketema's provisions are stored. I leave you harbor bound. Our people know much. Talk to them and learn. If dismayed by our speech, come find me.
Seek the source of the oasis. Life survives near my house in a way it does nowhere else on the island. I know not why, but perhaps Yara will have an idea. I remember tales of a Kebe, the well bringing water to Waha, a water womb life-giving. Come, I will tell you. My Vaid, apologies, my grandmother used to tell me of her childhood when she was looking after me. How she used to forage and fish for strange little salamandir in the Waha, wading in the waters gleefully. I recall with some curiosity that when speaking of water, a subject of scarcity and therefore fascination even when I was a child, she spoke not of the Waha itself, but of the Iteru. She said she used to put the salamandir back into the kebe of the Iteru, delighting to see them jump. I always wondered how a kebe would have enough force to make animals leap, unless the waters flowed powerfully down into the Iteru. If there was indeed an Iteru on Waha Desher once long ago, it must not have been far from the deep-rooted Isids. But now the Wasi have taken over, it is hard to find traces of anything. Select the Wasi to find Kebe. Perhaps Abel can make sense of these words. You can ask Yara to repeat her story at any time.
A renowned personage has arrived.
If you could clear the Wasi, perhaps we would find traces of Iteru and Kebe below.
A shedjet, a water well. Time clogged and lily logged, but hope for water still.
Select to investigate. Ancient shed. Okay. An antique well hidden under rubble, the source of the Iteru, the dried up river that once nourished the oasis of Yara.
There was fighting here long ago. Kashtan forces fled, bloodied by Ketema's host. Now only ruins, memory haunted.
The waters of my patience are running dry.
Dirigibbling.
So, Waha Desher, is there hope to restore the island? Or is it indeed water below, you say? Then we must bring it forth at once. Let us not tarry then. Change must come to Waha Desher. My patience and charity grow thin. They will adapt or be abandoned.
This is Waha Desher? This wasteland? Barely had the shed yet been found, then Ketema sent aid. A lord most trustworthy and caregiving. The land is no longer used to water. It needs Isiates to ward the threat of the Wak, a water curse.
Say to Kidusi Anitoni train
the
post on
Wasi
fire.
died long ago.
On course.
But there may be some on other islands, by deep waters and cool waters.
Maneuvering.
Isiates, you say? What is strange dialect?
trees, I believe. This was found.
Trees from Kidusi.
Dirigible
Well.
ink.
Well, let's see how everything here develops.
So what shall it be? We are close to clearing the last of the rubble. Now comes the time to plant the Isiate trees for water holding. A desert hut no longer. Water flows, life bathing, and tempest quiet. A miracle.
You have done much in little time. With water, Waha can surely now manage for themselves.
Well, not entirely. There's still rubble that needs to be removed.
How we celebrate, the Wasi of Pa Itaru must be repaired. It is thus forlorn and poorly.
Altitude stable.
12 tons of mud bricks. That should be easy.
Festivals. More expenses. Time we made higher
Delivering.
plans for Waha Desher.
The many of you discuss Waha Desher with Ketema. Tell me then, why should I squander any more of the resources I need to expand my empire, just so these islanders can feast and waste their days away? It is time for such a responsibility to change. If Enbesa is to thrive and become great, all must play their part, even Waha Desher. I will not have them merely survive. They must grow prosperous and contribute to the nation's efforts, or be left behind. There is land aplenty here, enough to feed the entire empire. These old stones must be torn down and water returned to the drylands. No longer will theirs be a language arcane to all. The time for industrious rejuvenation has come for the oasis. This would destroy Waha Desher's unique identity. Like, seriously. That is the point. You think their manners quaint and amusing, but they are foreign and antiquated. There is no place for an alien culture in a united Enbesan empire. In restoring the oasis and farmland, we will lift them out of poverty and make true Embesans out of them. My men will be ready to start as soon as they are needed. In the meantime, I ask you to tear down those forsaken piles of stone. We will need as much ground as we can to carve the deep canals and prepare for farmland. I will not be part of this act of vandalism. Let them be your burden. I will not bleed the Embesan stockpiles any further for these ingrates and layabouts. If you so wish to keep this piece of mummified history alive, then let it be on your shoulders. Do not let them suffocate amidst the dusted rags of their dead land.
If you wish to help Waha Desher on their terms, then you shall bear the responsibility alone. It may thrive, or it may fade.
Yeah, I believe I can support such a small village. But seriously, such a big temple, why should we tear it down? It looks beautiful, it might have some ancient knowledge.
I didn't expect you back so soon. The season for Messiet is nigh. A time of fancy flight. Work will start presently. We are thankful for your help, ever stalwart. Well, we'll find a way, I'm sure.
Ketema refusing to support us is a terrible thing to hear, but I must thank you, on behalf of all the inhabitants of Waha Desher, for defending our island's legacy. Our supplies are already running dangerously low. We are in desperate need of a new delivery. Though waters are returning to the Waha, it will take weeks, perhaps even months, before anything grows again. Time we do not have if we intend to survive alone. I will deliver goods you need. Your generosity does you credit, but I am afraid we will need more than one delivery. We will need a regular supply until the island can provide for itself. We may not be many, but the hard labor that is to come will make for hungry work, and there is little room on the island to store goods in any quantity. There is sortie plenty, perhaps it could be trade for supplies. I will take care of deliveries. We must ensure the Waha grows in you. Once again, you save our lives. Once you've brought the first supplies, we are set to clearing rubble from the Per Iteru. This should raise the waters high enough to start seeding the fields anew.
Resources are thin. Any
Waiting
help you could
course.
send would be appreciated.
Yeah, no problem, my friend.
An explosion in one of your factories.
Light path plotted.
And of course, I'm not surprised to where it is. Oof.
So what shall it be?
Anything else? Then I'll send it out.
Clear the rubble from the oracle.
Iteru has stood mysterious for millennia. Our river temple, old as Enbesa. Oh, wonderful. Messiet is a rite of fertility, of life celebrating. It is the heart of Enbesa, and we will teach you of it. Slowly life returns, but there is much to do ere we become a Waha once again.
I learned plant lore from my Wahiyet, as she from hers before. Come, let me show you.
The Ishid is a sacred plant, but also one of its many uses. Its roots run deep and keep the ground moist and fertile, while its branches sway with a gentle breeze and bring shade. Tradition says the most bountiful lands are found where the Ishid grows, which is why I chose to plant my garden at the foot of one of our last Ishids. The shadow and fresh air proper. The sun of Waha Desher is cruel and scorching. Were it not for the thick shade of the orange trees around it, my garden would surely burn, and who doesn't love fresh oranges after a hard day's labor? Kira seems to be growing teff grass here, small but meaningful. My crop is mainly teff, a sturdy resilient plant, but even that can only grow in proper conditions. So it is with the Waha. If you wish to restore it, you will need to placate the land with Ishid and orange trees.
I provide them venison, but the children need eaten, goat's milk. Perhaps the priest of Kidusi can spare us some.
Hovering.
Okay, time to get a goat herd.
You want the ghastly fiends? Well, Teka has finished studying them for you.
Maneuvering.
Already? The Waha is a place of fire sands and heat pain. I know no Awut who can resist such extremes. But perhaps there is such a breed.
Okay, but first, seeding.
Land healing relies on the nurture of plants. Orange Isiates, croplands, dark Isiates. But the Waha is dry and needs more.
Drops are spinning.
Pick up the seeds at Ketema's clipper. Okay.
What will it be next?
Heading set.
Shall we? That's enough to seed the Waha with new life. Come, I will show you the apportioned place for each plant. To see such verdant life, Binyam did not love growing as I do, but I believe he would agree we have done good here.
Yeah, definitely. That oasis is really coming to life. That's beautiful.
Awaiting course.
can survive without drinking for a week.
Ready.
A dear and amiable bunch, but their work is small fry.
Dirigibbling.
Deliver an oryx to Waha Desher trading post.
Talented, no doubt, but their experience too specific. Their projects lacking scope.
Awaiting course.
Welcome, Keftania Steward.
Drops are spinning.
A proposal? Should I summon my ministers?
So here we have now the oryx.
Let's see it then. The Jat is a holy bird, known for its insect hunger and beauty. Bring a Jat to the Waha, and our hearts would hope fill.
Light path plotted.
Extensive knowledge. Demonstrable skills? Yes. This
Hovering.
consortium have concepted the perfect prototype to become the research institute.
Maneuvering.
Many breeds of cattle roam in Enbesa, but the Sangha is best known and beloved by all. Not
Really?
so long ago were the salt
I need a
mines
Sangha
worked by
here.
thralls of the warring princes. I hope now they will stand for something better.
Waiting course.
Pleasingly chewy, isn't it? It may take a little getting used to for foreigners, as with many of our dishes. It is not in vain the Almighty sends us dreams, but one mustn't forget the needs of those
Heading
who live.
set.
My people.
Yeah, blah 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 blah. I don't want to work on the university right now. A research institute or whatever.
Light path plotted.
This is a grey-crowned crane, but it has the same icon as the Jat. Find out what the Jat is. Look at to the embroidered patterns on the garments worn by them. Let me guess. That is the right animal.
Dirigibbling. On course.
Release the Jat. Let its blessing. The Waha thrives again with soft light and moist life. The Kasa will live again. Only a wise one could restore the Waha and culture respect. With your
Heading
help,
set.
Waha Desher and the Empire will grow greater.
I see you have good news. I had run out of patience, but you showed me the virtue
Heading
of
set.
perseverance. You have breathed life back into Waha Desher. There is a natural beauty to it now, and many in this city have been inspired by their traditional example, raising gardens and terraces for all to revel in.
With the Pa Iteru complete, come days of Messiet,
On
the
course.
feast of praise giving. We want you as our honor guest.
Right path plotted.
Messiet is a rite of the
Workforce shortage. Workforce
Participate in the
shortage.
Messiah. Observe the priests performing the rituals. Where is Yara? Observe the traditional dancing. Groups of Irenia crowd into Anno with oracle coin. Okay, that was way too short for me to read. I prefer the calm of the cliff, but from here the Waha looks more beautiful than I ever could have imagined, even from... Timing! Seriously! Is it celebration or religious ecstasy? It's impossible to say, but a pure unbridled energy... Yeah.
You have given much. Only fair we be heart generous in return. As is told in legends, where water springs, so is memory unveiled. You came to us a Shema, stranger, yet learned to listen with hard mouth and soul words. You are one of us, Hamis.
Heading set.
Okay, seems like we were successful here. Time for a thumbnail then. So, let's see if we can see something on the summit. From the summit. Not really. But maybe here from the sky.
I'm an impulsive shopper myself.
Yeah, that looks way better. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed this episode. In the next one, we are going to focus a bit more on the University quest or Research Institute quest and see where it leads us. If you liked this episode, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. Would of course, as always, be great feedback for me, making me happy, keeping me motivated. You know the rest. And yeah, if you have any direct feedback, questions or whatsoever, then just type it down in the comments or join our community Discord, for which you will find the invitation in the video description down below. Aside from that, of course, whenever you, well, if you want to get notified whenever I upload something new, then just make sure you're subscribed to the channel and that notifications are activated. And with that, I say goodbye and see you next time. Bye bye.